Drunk versus high, the two most common altered states of being us humans indulge in, which, believe it or not, your preferred choice between these two vices can actually show a lot about your overall personality. For most of us, if you plan on getting high and hanging out, it means eating Doritos, rewatching Pineapple Express, and or playing video games. On the other hand, getting drunk and hanging out usually means stumbling around the club with your friends, yapping with strangers, trying to close a deal with potential prospects, and finally vomiting in the bathroom just to go back to the dance floor and repeating the previous steps until A, you close a deal with progressively less desirable prospects, or you strike out completely, go home, and brace for the hell that's waiting for you in the morning. But there is a lot more you need to take into account when comparing alcohol to weed. So today, for the sake of science and education, let's look at every major category and come to an unbiased decision on which of these substances is subjectively better, starting with the most important category, and that is the effect. You ever seen a dude faded beyond belief, hanging out and having a fun time with a dude that's drunk as fuck? The answer is probably no, because as I said earlier, the personalities of the two substances just don't mix very well. Being high is a combination of overanalyzing every thought you have and really going deep into your inner 10-year-old, which means laughing uncontrollably at a TikTok your homie sent you one moment and then the next remembering that we're all really just chunks of matter roaming an endlessly expanding universe without no clear purpose except enjoying your time alive. Ooh, funny cat video. And being drunk is the exact opposite in the way that instead of overanalyzing your decisions, you don't think about them at all.
You're telling me if I did a backflip off that table right now, I'd impress all the hoes? Yeah, probably. You know how to do a backflip though? Just watch. Hey everybody, check this shit out. Shit. Bro, I thought you said you know how to do a backflip. I never said I knew how to. I just thought I'd pull it off somehow.
Basically, being drunk makes you overconfident, unaware of your surroundings, and numb social anxiety, and overall just makes you very spontaneous in your actions. But don't get me wrong, that's not always a bad thing per se, cause being drunk is fun as fuck. To be honest, in most social situations, it's probably gonna be way more enjoyable than being high. Just the way I see it, alcohol numbs your senses and worries, while makes you more aware of them. So although in the long term, smoking grass is probably less harmful to your overall life, that's not what we're comparing here. So a bit of a controversial take maybe, but alcohol wins this category 1-0 booze. But now let's look at the thing that comes a couple hours after the effect, and that's the after effect / hangover. Not gonna dwell on this subject for too long, as I think we all know where this is going. If you get shit-faced drunk on Friday, you're gonna be fighting the urge to yourself on Saturday. Okay, that might be a bit of an over-exaggeration, but it's low-key true. Because you see, ethanol, aka alcohol, is literally poison, and when you drink too much of it, you're gonna feel like you've been poisoned. Like shit, who would've thought? And with weed, of course, there is no hangover whatsoever. Well, not really, cause if you ever gotten absolutely annihilated to the point your body switches to autopilot before, then you know after waking up the next day, there is a high possibility you'll experience low energy, haziness, brain fog, and worst of all, the desire to get schmacked again in the morning so you can binge watch season 1 of SpongeBob and ignore all your goals and aspirations. But we all know a big part of the za hangover can actually come from the smoking part. Throat irritation, mucus, coughing, all these things are something you might know all too well. Thankfully these days, there are great alternatives that can help you avoid them entirely. For example, the 5CBD 10mg high potency Delta 9 gummies. And the great part about 5CBD is they offer 3 separate types of gummies, each crafted to meet your needs in consideration of your situation. Surge is similar to sativa, boosting your mood and vibe whilst keeping you energized. Vibes is a nice middle ground, allowing you to still stay productive whilst also chilling you out. And finally, my favorite, Chill. These are best enjoyed when you're done with your day and just want to relax and unwind. 5CBD gets all their products third-party lab tested, which is why they are one of the most popular and trusted brands out there with over 20 million jars sold. They're also so confident you'll love their gummies, they're offering everyone watching this video a chance to get a free pack of them with no subscriptions attached. All you have to do is be at least 21, go to the description or pinned comment, pay for shipping, and get ready to enhance your vibe. Brah. But that is a lot better than feeling so awful that you become a devoted Christian overnight and start begging God for mercy.
My head hurts so bad. I know I haven't reached out in a while, God, but please end this suffering, and I promise I'll never drink again.
Hey bro, wanna go to Lucy's place today?
Everybody's coming. It's supposed to be a crazy party.
Yeah, let's go. So even though the grass isn't the miracle plant some people believe it to be, I'd still say it's the clear winner in this category. 1-1, all tied up. Now let's look at cost. In the previous comparison of versus nicotine, I went through all the levels of consumption to figure out which one is cheaper, but with this one, comparing just the cost of the booze versus the Zaza isn't gonna cut it. Because you see, on a night out where you get wasted, I'd say maybe like 20% of the actual money spent is gonna be on alcohol you yourself consumed, with the rest going to entry fees into clubs, buying shots for them hoes, expressing your love to the homies by buying them drinks, and other stupid shit people tend to do when drunk. Also, unless you're a straight up bum or functioning alcoholic, you're not gonna be drunk every day. Instead, if you love drinking and partying, you'll be drunk every weekend. Or the other possibility is, of course, you drink a couple beers every night at the end of your day, which the best way to tell if you fall into this category is go look in the mirror, and if you have a dad bod, then yeah, you're probably in it. With smoking though, your primary cost is gonna be in the itself, ranging anywhere from $40 a month if you only blaze on the weekends with your homies, all the way up to like $500 a month if you're getting high every day. Which this category is quite hard for me to pick a clear winner because it really just depends on your personality and self-control when drunk, so I'ma leave it at a tie. I'm sorry, it's the only way to be fair. 2-2, we're still tied. Now time for addictiveness. I think the best way to answer this question is by looking at what these substances do to you, starting with alcohol. The saying, drink away the pain, exists for a reason. Alcohol is a numbing agent. It numbs your senses, numbs your brain, numbs your body, and it numbs the pain. Basically meaning you can drink away your problems for the night, which if that isn't enough of a red flag, it also has some pretty major withdrawal symptoms if you decide to stop being an alcoholic one day. And although with there can also be withdrawal symptoms, it's a bit harder to get that far, and from what I've digged up, they're not as hard to overcome. Although, take that with a grain of salt because the research on this field isn't super conclusive yet. But if alcohol is a numbing agent, then what is the ganja? Glad you asked. In my opinion, the Zaza is an amplifier, so if you're sad and dealing with some serious emotional damage and then smoke a doozy, you're gonna be even more sad, and the emotional damage will feel much worse. Obviously, if you get so blasted you switch to manual breathing, it can also numb the pain to some regard, but that's only because your brain puts your trauma aside to focus on surviving the high, and it's not like it's always gonna do that. It might actually just make you focus on your misery even more. That being said, I'ma give this point to the Zaza, because although saying isn't addictive is false, it is still less so than alcohol. So 3-2, the grass is finally winning, but maybe this next category will tie it back up. Variety. This is a very interesting category because both alcohol and weed have variations. For bud, that usually means is it sativa or indica? What's the THC percentage? What strain is it? And for alcohol, it's about the same, as in what percentage of alcohol is the drink? Is it vodka? Is it tequila, beer, etc.? So both have variety, but there's one major difference that, in my opinion, pushes one of these substances over the hump to victory. Unlike alcohol, which you can only drink or technically eat, but well, nobody's really doing that. Anyway, with weed, you have many ways of consumption. Eat, drink, smoke, vaporize. You can even use a tincture and drop some highness right on your tongue. And although alcohol does have some variety in its effects, it's usually always about the same compared to the za, where if you're smoking some Cali sativa exotic, it's gonna be noticeably different to some standard indica. And for that reason, I have to give this one to the Zaza. Part 2 does Mary Jane still undefeated. What should I compare it to next? Who even stands a chance? Comment that down below and see you in the next one.